Hey, good people. Hello, hello, and welcome back to God and Therapy with Tara Boddie and my hubby.
Jason.
Hey, so glad to have you all here tonight on this beautiful Tuesday. Thank you to all of you that are consistently supporting the channel and following us. We really do appreciate you. We have been blessed so much by your feedback, your emails, your comments, right, Jay?
Absolutely.
We enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
We
We do.
we
It's
go
been, I
ahead.
was no, I was gonna say it's been fun and it's continuing to be fun. Answering questions and definitely, getting a message out to the people. So I will put a plug in for you though. If they have not subscribed to your YouTube channel,
Yes.
take time right now and definitely subscribe to God in Therapy, tarabody.com. So please make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, continue to put your questions in that we will answer on a week-to-week basis. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you,
You're
King.
welcome.
And
You're
hey, we
welcome.
got some folks, some of our loyal viewers coming in. Hey, Liz, good to see you. Sharanda is always in the building. We appreciate you coming in and support. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening. Where that man at of yours? Tell him get on up in here. Hey, listen, then speak. Coming on in. We appreciate you. Hey, sir, we appreciate your support. We're so glad that y'all coming in. I think y'all gonna enjoy the conversation tonight. We've been rolling. Jay just saying anything on this podcast, anything that come to his mind. He just
I mean, speak the truth. Speak the truth.
hey, that's what we're
Got to speak the truth.
trying to do. We are
Yeah.
really trying to do that. And we see that people are genuinely receptive to the information on the podcast. We appreciate y'all sharing it. That's what we really do. So, share this on your page, especially as we are live. We want to get more people into getting this information. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Latria. Hey, the blessed and gifted one. Come through, blessed and gifted one.
First time watching live.
All
Welcome.
right, we got a first timer. Come on.
Woo.
Oh, and I like the little avatar. That's so cute. Come on. Welcome to this space. This space, if you have this your first time, the blessed and gifted one, understand live is live. We don't pre-record nothing on God in Therapy. So what comes up is what we genuinely feel that we've been led to say. It is the experiences of our life, as a marriage counselor and a therapist. And Jason is a coach. We talk to a lot of people, like a lot of couples and different things. So the stuff we talk about, y'all, is what y'all talking about. It's the conversations that we are repeatedly having as we're talking to individuals and married couples. So tonight's conversation was actually by a viewer last week. She typed in, Tara, can you talk about hyper independence? And that kind of intrigued me last week. I kind of sat on that because I can't tell you how many times I have to remind folks or tell some folks or reveal to some folks, Jay, that they have been raised to be single.
Raised to be single.
Raised to be single.
So you're not raised to be dependent on someone. You're raised to be independent.
Independent to their detriment is what we're talking about tonight. You could be raised so independently that you can't function in a marriage. Did you know that?
Or you can't function without help.
No, you just ain't functioning. But that's now you said something, because a lot of these hyper independent people, Jay, don't even think they need help.
Yeah.
They believe that the way they are operating is beneficial to their spouse, that I don't need you and you don't need me. To the point they're not collaborating.
Right.
They're not connecting. Ain't no partnership, and definitely ain't no merger into one. So we got scripture tonight, because we ain't starting this conversation without telling you what God said about partnership. And don't even hit me up with them scriptures talking about Paul said we should be single tired. We're not talking about that. We are talking about people who trying to be married, trying to have relationships, and yet they act like, or they don't know how to merge in partnership because of their raising. Hey, Dr. Antonio Woods, there goes Sharanda, man. You on there. I knew you was coming. Hey, Drashmere, good to see you. Hi, hi, hi. Yes, there, go and throw it out. He said, my future wife is needed. Sharanda, he said, you need it. Yeah. And I'm glad you know this.
Yeah.
Because everybody don't know this.
Don't know.
Jay, men and women I'm talking to. This is not even a gender thing.
Nope.
I'm talking to people who literally are like, I don't really need them. And I know y'all gonna get confused because a couple of shows ago we were talking about how I came into the marriage. I was saying that God was asking me come into the marriage strong, right? So that I wouldn't be so codependent that I wouldn't hold you accountable. But I think some people are confused about what it means to be independent and not necessarily codependent. Like I'm being helped, but I also don't want to be on the struggle. So we got to clear some stuff up tonight. Jay, because we're going to have to make it plain. We try to make it plain. So Jay, can you read the scripture tonight, y'all? If you have your Bibles, if you have your Bible apps, we are reading from Genesis chapter 2, verse 15 through 18. Go ahead,
Yep,
Jay.
absolutely. So the Lord of God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden. But you must not eat from the tree of knowledge of, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat from it, you will certainly die. The Lord God said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him.
All right. Thank you, Jay. Now, do y'all see how as soon as God said what man can and cannot do, he immediately said you need a helper. Anybody else catch it? Pass the offering. Y'all didn't catch it. Okay, let me break it down. As soon as God gave command on what man is supposed to do and not do, he immediately said, man should not be alone. And I'm going to create a helper for him. I need some of my Holy Ghost anointed people to even understand that. He immediately said, after I just gave these instructions, man ain't going to be able to do this alone. He ain't going to be able to do what I told him to do, and he ain't going to be able to keep from doing what I told him not to do without help. So let me tell Jason's business. When I met Jay,
tell it right.
When I met Jay, let me tell you one of our early marital struggles is that my husband, his mama did such a good job on him that he felt like he used to make this statement, and he can clarify because he's obviously changed the statement over time, but he would say, I don't need you, I want you. Like I'm very hyper independent. Like the man can cook. The man obviously worked. You know, he had his own house when I met him. I ain't gonna say it was cleaned up like I would have cleaned it, but for most part,
he didn't have bugs. That's all.
He could clean his house.
He didn't have bugs.
So this man was like, you're here because I want you here, but I could actually be by myself. And if I can say so, his brother married very late in life too, after 40, because they could function the way their mother raised them, very single. So trying to convince him that adding me to his life was essential was a bit of work. It was a bit of work. Now,
I can agree with that.
Jay, explain to us, God in therapy, where were you in this hyper independence in your mind frame about needing a spouse?
So first, let me break down. I think it's three things we need to look at.
Okay.
So you say hyper independence. I think there's a level of overconfidence.
Okay. All right.
And I think there's a third layer to this onion that's called arrogance.
Say it again. Can you say it again?
So you have hyper independence.
You
have overconfidence.
And
you have arrogance.
Okay, Jay gonna break it down for y'all.
So it's three ways to look at this.
Okay.
So for the I'll start with the over independent because my mom raised us to pretty much be able to survive
On your own.
on our own.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, as you know, it comes with things that I'm particular about, things that, like, nobody washed my clothes but me. Even when we got married, I was like, you wash your clothes, I wash my clothes. Because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want my clothes getting faded, because you just throw everything in there. So
Ooh,
instead of
child.
I was taught to separate colors.
Ooh, child.
So
Youngest child here. People wash my clothes. Thank you. Anyway.
So as we're going through, the first beginning parts of our marriage,
Mm-hmm.
it was a change. It was a struggle for me because, being so independent in my brain at the time, I was like, I have a wife. I enjoy the benefits of having a wife, the love and the compassion, the affection. I can't give that to myself.
Right.
However, with that helpmate, there's a reason, like you said, God said it's not good for man to be alone. You have to, you need a helper. You need help. I didn't realize what that helper was. And so it took some real conversations, because I remember one vividly. You said, what do I do for you?
And I remember you said you don't know. The first time I was like, "Ooh,
it was tough. I didn't know."
So let's bring it back. Cause I think when parents are raising children, and especially for those who are raised in single parent homes, okay? Because I got to really break this down for some of you, especially when you're raised in single parent homes. You have not seen two people work together on a daily basis and get along with each other. And what you're seeing is this one adult doing everything without any collaboration, any partnership, any togetherness, even the decisions that are made in a single parent home. It's one adult deciding what's going on with all the children and with everybody. Now, I wasn't raised in a single parent home. I had a stepfather. You have a father in your home, but our fathers, if we could say, were pretty much letting mama decide most of the things. If you would agree with your household, definitely for mine. There still was one adult typically making all the decisions, and the other one was kind of like, whatever your mama said, whatever your mama said, whatever your mama said.
Right.
So even though it's not a single parent home, some of us are raised in homes where there's still not any partnership and collaboration on all decisions and what is said and done in the household.
That is true.
So when we're talking about people being raised to be single, you could be raised to be single and you don't even know it. Meaning that by default, it's what I want is what's being done, what I think should be done, what my opinion is. I believe this is what we should be doing. It doesn't even occur to some people to say, this is an idea I have, but let me go ask somebody else for their advisement, for their opinion, for their buy-in, and get collaboration before I make a decision.
And to that point, you don't realize, or you don't understand the value in that.
Right.
So I give you a case in point. I never had to ask, and let me not use the word permission. I never had to get buy-in or consult anyone when it came to me making purchases.
Right.
Oh, so Jesus. you know, and so if I wanted to buy something, I'm gonna buy it. I didn't. Hey, wifey, I'm about to buy a new car. If I wanted a new car, I go buy a new car.
Ooh, I'm triggered. No, and I didn't realize that with you. And when we get married, Jay be like, I'm at the dealership. You at the dealership? I'm at the dealership about to buy a car. Oh, okay. Now, Jay likes to buy cars, y'all. Like when we got married, it was like every other year, strange happenings. Sir had a car thing. He had a car thing.
I like what I like.
But I was like, how you at a dealership making a major purchase and you didn't? I did tell you I was going to buy a car. Yeah, but I thought that's a collaborative effort. Like we was going to go together, test drive together, like decide on a car. Maybe I sit there with you. No, Buddy was like, oh no, I got it. I already test drove it. I know what I want. I'll be home later. Like that was a bone of contention where I was like, this ain't like you buying a pair of tennis shoes at the mall. This is an entire car. He's like, I don't see the problem. I work. I can pay for the car. I bought me a car today. And I promise you, this was not me trying to tell you what to do. I was more so saying, I want to be involved. Are we not partners? Are we not together? Why would you just make a decision and don't think that I should even be involved just on some friendship thing? Like,
Yep.
hey, friend, I'm buying a car. You want to hang out? Like, you want to go see it? Like, I'm a twin. Now, let me help y'all. I have a twin sister. Everything in my life is collaboration. Like, I don't think I had my own single candy bar until I was like 13, because it was always broken half because I'm a twin. Like, it was a family of 5. The twins are sharing everything. We shared seats in the car, we shared food, we shared drinks, we shared everything. So when I get with a hyper independent person, I didn't understand us not having conversations. I really didn't understand that. I thought everything needed that I did needed to be run by him. I would call you about everything sometimes, and you'd be like, just do it. Just go ahead. Go ahead. And I'm like, well, I thought I should talk to you.
Yep. So I'm gonna pause right there,
Okay.
because that goes into the second point I made about being overconfident.
Mm.
And so in my brain, I'm overconfident to the point where I'm saying I don't need my spouse's buy-in.
Yep.
I know about the car that I want to buy.
Yep.
I know the specs. I know the gas mileage. I know everything about it. I've made up my mind. I've made my decision. You being with me would not change my mind. And you being with me to quote unquote kick the tires, it's not gonna change my mind. I'm like, you. So,
and you are probably right, because I didn't research cars. Know that I basically all I would have told you is I don't like that color or something, because I didn't care enough about cars or know enough. But I felt like such a purchase should be a collaborative effort. But I think we both kind of we both had I had a little hyper independence too, because when it came to decisions with my career and your career, we didn't really talk to each other about. I would just tell you, hey, I'm going back to school to get another degree. Now, mind you, degrees equal debt, equals time out of my house.
right.
But I'm just like, I'm going to get another degree. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm being in school. Now, being in school meant I'm not going to be doing a lot of chores. I'm going to need him to help with the kids and everything. But I didn't say, how do you feel about me going to school during this time? Is this a good time for our family? No, I'm going to school. Oh, yeah, I'm getting another job somewhere next year. I'm quitting this. Now, he may change cars every 2 years, but I was changing jobs every 2 years. I'm a millennial. That's what we do. Until we found the thing we love. I was changing jobs every 2 years, but I wasn't collaborating with him on that either.
Right.
It was like, I don't like where I'm working and I don't want to work there anymore. He's like, okay, long as you got a check. Yeah, I have a check. Like, I'll have money, but I don't want to do this anymore. And I didn't need your buy-in when I would do that. I wouldn't ask you about really quitting a job and getting a job.
Yeah. And for just like me buying cars bothered you, those decisions bothered me.
Oh, absolutely, I'm sure.
Because not so much because of your decision making, but for my background, me being in HR, I'm like, you job hopping. And so job hopping don't look good on your resume. And I'm like, is it the job or is it you? I'm like, do we need to work on you?
And then you're different from me.
Yeah.
You would stay on jobs today. Like Jay, it ain't nothing for Jay to be on the job 10 plus years. I can't even fathom the thought. But he would stay on jobs forever. So he's just like, this is stability. But both his parents stayed on jobs 30 plus years. Me, that's not my background. My mama would quit jobs when she wanted to, switch up when she wanted to. That's just how she rolled.
Yeah.
And she didn't ask my stepfather in the home because she do certain things. And so there are certain life decisions that I felt for my career and my happiness. No, I wasn't over here asking you. There was no partnership. There was no collaboration, but everything we were doing was affecting the other person. Money decisions, career decisions, things you do with your time, it affects your spouse.
Yep.
And I have talked to so many couples, Jay, where they just really don't understand, why do I need to do certain things like share my bank accounts with my spouse? We ain't gonna go there today. But they are like, I married them, but like we don't do that. That don't work for us to really like merge. Like they still operate very singular in a marriage. and then wonder later on, why are they disconnected?
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't even trust their spouse
Mm-mm.
with
Mm-mm.
come over here and help me make a decision, or let's pull together our finances and build. Let me see what you're doing. No. Mm-mm.
There is a lot to be said when it comes to collaboration.
Right.
And most people, or a lot of people, look at collaborating as if I have to ask permission, or I feel like you're parenting me. We talked about that a couple of weeks
Right.
ago.
Right.
Your spouse being your parent. But oftentimes, if you're coming at it with a pure heart and you have that communication, you're explaining to one another, this is why we're collaborating, then it makes sense. So, case in point, Jason, you get a new car. Let's talk about this. What does this mean for the family? You're buying a two-seater sports car.
Yes, child.
That nobody asked you to.
Two-seater and you got three
And
kids.
so, does that make sense for the family? Let's collaborate. Let's talk about it. She's got to throw shade.
I'm
Got
throwing,
to throw
I'm
shade.
throwing truth.
So, Miss Convertible two-seater. So, when it comes down to it, it collaboration is important. See,
We both
y'all,
ratchet.
I can't take Tara
No, we
serious. I cannot.
no, we both ratchet. I ain't gonna at this junction in our life. We both have made some decisions because the longer you with somebody, they rub off on you. So when they buy two-seaters, then you go buy two-seaters, and y'all both got three kids, and everybody looking at y'all like, how you both of y'all got two-seater cars, and y'all sitting over there with three kids, more than the average person.
Mine got a back seat.
Oh, don't play.
Mine got a
Corvettes
back
don't
seat.
have back seats. You just changed your car back. We ain't gonna put our business on the streets. And yes, I do currently have a two-seater, but we do have a family car. Don't get on us. But we were making such rash. Look at Patricia saying, "Be good, Ty." I'm be good. I'm sorry. Let me act right. I told y'all what happened on live. Live is live. But we both have been just doing some things, and buying things, and not telling each other, not asking. And it's not even about asking. You really
let's say consult. It's
you really
consulting one
jog
another.
you really jog something in me when you said that about parenting. When you have a parent that is just telling you what to do all your life and not asking you, what do you think?
Your opinion.
What do you feel? How do you feel about this decision? Let's talk about it, sweetheart. So you want to play that sport. Tell me why you want to play the sport. How do you think that's going to affect your grades? This is why I'm making this decision for you. Let's talk it out because I really want your buy-in. If that ain't happening as a child, I think you do grow up with a complex of, when I get grown, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I said, when I get out of my mama's house,
ain't nobody telling me
what to do. You're not going to tell me what to buy, what not to buy. If I want a pair of $200 shoes, I'm going to go buy me a pair of $200 shoes.
Yes, you did. And this is a great conversation for me tonight. You come up with that because it's like a rebellion.
Yeah.
It's a rebellion. Like, when I'm grown, ain't nobody telling me what to do because my parents have always told me what to do. So we can view our spouse collaborating them as in this somebody trying to tell me what to do and they don't get to tell me what to do. We don't look at it as partnership, and I'm talking to my spouse because they're a very intelligent person that I married, and I want to make sure I'm making the best decisions for my life. So I want to get this other smart, intelligent person that I married and say, what do you think about this? This is what I'm thinking. Give me your viewpoint because I might be missing something.
Yeah.
And I don't want an error.
Yeah.
And I think you're brilliant. I think you have wisdom. And I also want to make sure you have buy-in because this does affect you in some way.
Yep.
I think when I say raised to be single, because those habits of hyper independence and not collaborating will get you back single.
Yeah. Yep. Another case in point. Now you and I never went through this. I've seen several videos and things like that. But it's even to the point of I'm on my way home from work. I stop by and grab me something to eat. And I get home. And you be like, you only got you something. You didn't call to see if I want. Oh, I figured you got off before I did, you already ate.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that independent way of thinking that you're thinking about self. You're not thinking about the holistic family dynamic, or even if you don't have kids, you and your wife, you're still a unit. I don't want to say you're so focused, but you've been groomed really just to take care of self.
I believe that. And even if when you bring up kids, I take Sunday mornings for church when we was young. I mean, when the kids were young, and I would get the kids ready, and I would have to get myself ready. And you was just sharp getting yourself ready, just as sharp as you want to be. And I'm be like, you got 3 daughters in there. You want to go? And it was like, oh yeah. And I was like, he's used to getting himself ready, and just himself. And I used to have to say, babe, it's 5 of us that got to get ready. I'm about to go out the house looking like the maid because I only had 15 minutes to get ready, and you had an hour, but I had to get the 3, and I was like, family unit, and I felt in my spirit, I feel like the God was trying to help me say, he was more so kind of raised in a period of time by himself. He's raised to take care of himself, but you got to remind him. I think this is the whole thing about God saying Adam needed a helpmate, because I needed to remind you sometimes, like, baby, family unit, like, dive in over here. It's 3 other people that we got to kind of help with. And I remember being very frustrated. And I'm saying this because there's some wives right now, you're very frustrated because you're trying to understand why not the dive in. And sometimes it's annoying because you're just like, do you see? Like when you make purchases, or when you getting yourself ready, or you moving about your life, that there are children here, that you have to consider the impact of everybody. Like, and I think because I came up, like I said, with a twin sister, with 5 children at home, a home of 7, everything impacted everybody. So I mostly knew that if I did something, it's going to impact the children.
Right.
And we started getting better. I remember we had a very important conversation one time when I was up for a promotion for a position. And I came to you and said, they're talking to me about this position. And you said, have you thought about that? Because that's going to make you very busy. And we got 3 children. Now, I'm going to go and admit to y'all, I was hot mad. I was hot mad because I'm like, okay, but what about, so you get to just fly and be amazing on your career, but I got to consider children for my career. So I got to not take this promotion I'm being considered, because basically our children, y'all, was going to be left to be raised by wolves if I took that job. I'm going to be honest, because the way he was busy, I was about to be busy, and the children was just going to be raised by whoever we paid to raise them. That's what was going to happen. Luckily, I was really in my word at the time, really connected to God at the time. And he told me, stay, don't do that. Like, it would not be good for your family. In hindsight, I am so grateful that I did consider the children, and I did listen to his counsel on that, because at the end of the day, my job was not provider. It was mostly his job to be provider. And so I couldn't make decisions on provision and leave our children out there. And so, but can I say, yes, I was irritated at the time, but hindsight, it made more sense. But I was used to being able to just, whatever came up, whatever promotion, whatever I wanted to do, I could do. And that was the first time I really had to say, I can't take a job because of the impact it would have on the family unit. And you could tell your business about your job, how you had to change your mind because of the impact on the family unit.
Yeah. And and one day we'll do a podcast about finances and chasing money, and how that can just lead down a total, road of destruction. But it was just one of those things where, I was so hyper focused on being at a certain financial status, and not for any other reason of, I just wanted to be there. I wasn't trying to keep up with anybody. I wasn't trying to buy anything. It was just, hey, I've worked really hard and I wanted to be at a certain point, at a certain time in life. And so in doing that, I made some decisions that I made sound good, because I'm turning into a salesman, and I'm selling something to you, and telling you all of the positives and how this could work. So I think the main thing I used was, hey, I'll be closer to home. I won't have to sit in traffic an hour and a half. But on the flip side, this particular job took me out of the house even more.
Oh, you were never at home.
I went from maybe a 45 to 47 hour work week with traffic to now a 55, 60, sometimes 70-hour work week, but it was only 10 minutes away from the house.
Right.
That didn't make
Right.
any sense whatsoever.
And we didn't collaborate on that decision. We didn't consider all factors of the household and the children. This is people still making decisions based upon what I feel is best for me, my career, what I want to do, my goals for financing. And that is just some of the things we were taught is go for your opportunities and just do what you think is good for you. You know, I definitely saw that with my parents, doing stuff that they felt was good for them. And I know some of you could resonate with that. There were times your parents made decisions, whether it was to get divorces, to take jobs, to move you, and they never considered the impact that it had on you. So what that does is you turn into that type of adult, that I'm gonna do what's best for me because I've been raised that adults do what's best for them, and they don't consider children. They don't consider other people. They always make decisions based upon their happiness and their enjoyment. And that is directly against God's plan for us.
Yeah. Yep.
Going back to that scripture where God told them, be fruitful and multiply, and don't do these things over here. Don't do this other stuff. He knew immediately after that, y'all gonna need collaboration, connection, and help to stay in alignment with those two things I just told y'all. In order to be fruitful and multiply and stay out of sin, we have to be talking to our spouse.
Right.
Like, this is the most accountable relationship that a person can have.
Yeah.
The world don't know what we be doing out here. They don't know how we come to decisions and the things we do behind closed doors. But your spouse knows some things about you to help you, to watch your back, to say, hey, you're slipping in this area. Hey, you're getting off the plan and path God has for you. But if you have this arrogance, which was your third category, this arrogance that I don't need you telling me nothing.
Right.
I'm grown.
Right.
I've been doing this my whole life by myself. I don't need you checking me. I don't need to run nothing by you. And I know what I'm doing. You're going to miss the gift of the collaboration that God has for us.
Yeah. And even with that, you know, that third layer of the onion, as I call it, even with arrogance, it's even to the point where it's like, hey, I see how this is going to negatively impact either my marriage or my family.
And you don't care.
I have no change. I don't care.
You don't care.
It's what I want to do. It's about me. I want, and I hear this a lot, and it's going to hurt some people's, well, I'm not going to say it's going to hurt some people's feelings. It's the truth. The truth is the truth.
Yeah.
If you have a mindset where you're saying, I want my freedom. I don't want to have to consult with anyone but myself, then stay by yourself.
Stay by yourself. Yeah.
Stay by yourself.
Stay single. They don't want mentors. They don't want advisors. And they don't even want their spouse weighing in on how they're living their life. They look at it as parental. And a lot of times it is God's voice in another human being telling you you are erring, or you're going to go down a path that's not good for you, good for the marriage, good for your relationship with your children. So many people don't want to hear that. And I've met men and women that say, oh, I know what I'm doing is disconnecting me from my spouse. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Everybody not happy with it.
That's crazy to me.
But I don't feel like I've had people just, they laugh and say, Tara, can I just say, I don't feel like changing. This is just what I prefer to do. And I say, so you're telling me, you know, there's a negative impact on your marriage, on your home, on your family, and you're not removing yourself from that negative impact. You are stubborn, and therefore you are sinful. You're willingly walking in sin with no accountability, with no one calling you back, and you believe God gonna bless that. They really don't even know they have a reprobate mind. They don't even know that they've been given over to a mind that is selfish and sinful, that has consequences. A lot of those people who made career decisions to go after their career and pour their life, their energy, their time, their talents into careers, honey, at the end of their life, that's all they got is a career and some money, but they ain't got no family. They don't have a marriage. They don't have a relationship with their children. And then they're shocked What?
Right.
Where's everybody at?
Right.
Why is my family disconnected? You didn't pour anything into your family. You did not water the grass of your marriage. Whatever you water is what you're going to have at the end of your life. You water a career, you're going to have a career, but no marriage.
Right.
That's what you're going to water. You water your friends and the things outside of your home, or you're going to have friends and you're going to have a church position. You're not going to have a family. You're not going to have your children connected to you. And those are our first ministries
Right.
that God called us to. When we got it together and started making decisions based upon our marriage, first of all, we started making decisions, making sure our connection with God was right.
God was right. Yep.
Then we started saying, well, let's not make any decisions that's going to disconnect the marriage. We can't be away from each other long periods of time. We don't play that. And then we made decisions what's going to be healthier for our children. God blessed us exponentially.
Yeah.
Like we got more blessed and working less and having more time with our family, which is the original design God had.
Right. Right.
And I think, Jay, people really don't understand that God is going to bless you according to you living the way he designed family. He said Adam, first of all, was supposed to spend time with God in the garden.
In the garden.
Which is Adam and God. So people got to understand priority. Spend time with him. Like if they literally just look at Genesis, God said, spend time with me first. Right. Get your mind right.
Right.
So that you could be equipped to deal with the next relationship. Then he created marriage. That's very important to God. His relationship, marital relationship, and then the children. Yeah. And then the children. So when we get that out of order, what is happening? And I see, is that Lewis said, cooperation, not codependency. So, hey, let's break that down. Let's break that down because connection, I talk about being equally yoked all the time. Like where you're weak, I'm strong. Where I'm weak, you're strong. And when I say weak, I mean there are things that your family taught you that my family didn't. Right. Things that my family taught me that your family did not do. And we have both brought the benefits of those things into this marriage. You know, when a lot of people say they're super independent, the first things they start listing is money. I got a house, I got a car, I got a job.
Materialistic
things. So when they say I got all this, that's why people be thinking that they're independent, men and women. Right. I don't need nobody because I got my own money, my house, my car, my job. But they could be like emotionally and relationally.
I was about to say, all you have to do is say, tell me about your relationships.
Toe up.
Tell me about your relationship.
A lot of times they spend all that time accumulating those things. They have no relationships. Lack of social skills. Hey, Betty. Hey, Patricia. Just, hey, Tonda. Just making sure I say hey to the people. Glad y'all on tonight. They are so good at getting their careers and things together. They did not make time for social relationships. Right. They did not build with people. They did not connect. I said, hey, Tonda. She's talking, where's the love? They did not build the relationships, Jay, that actually equip us into the character and integrity of God. A good, stable, equally yoked marriage is going to really make you whole and fill your cup. We are not responsible for the things our parents did not teach us, right, and the lack we have. Right. But I love marriage because it's your second family in which God can equip you with the things you did not get. I remember you telling me how much you enjoyed the fact that my family did spend a lot of time together, just hanging out, watching movies, connecting. And you were saying y'all were pretty much busy with, sporting events, or your dad was at work. Right. And to see that connection, you really like that.
Yeah, because we were more of a holiday family. That's the only time, family gatherings would be around holidays. Mom's side of the family, wasn't in Georgia. And it's just, we didn't have that connection. And so when we started dating and I saw that connection with your family, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. That's awesome. But then again, I go back now, even at my grown self, and I look at pictures that my mom and my dad had of events that I wasn't there. And I was like, when did y'all take these pictures? When did y'all do it? And my mom was like, oh, you was working. I was so focused on working that even my family relationships got neglected. Right. Let alone dating, and trying to live in what God had for us. But that was my focus. That's what I was so concerned and so just I had on blinders,
And I saw that, when we were dating, your focus towards working a lot, and it did affect our dating. And I would tell you, like, there's more to life than just making money. We need to spend time together to have a good connection. I need to see you. And so it did go into the marriage, where I can't say I didn't see that before I married you, because we would break up over the amount of time you were working. So when we got married, I'm like, oh, you still working? That's still a priority for you. Okay, that was cool when it was me and you, but now we also have children.
Right.
So we had to have some real conversations about, sir, I get it that your daddy worked. I get it that was a priority for you as a male. I get it you got these financial goals, but you're going to lose me, and you're going to lose this connection with your children if you don't pull back. And that wasn't me trying to tell you what to do. It's me saying, I know you want your family. I know that you want the big picture, so you got to kind of break up your time. You got to balance this thing. I definitely like the fact you working. Don't get me wrong, because we wouldn't have made it. I like the fact that you worked. So let's be clear, y'all. The man need a job, and he needs to work and provide for his family. However, that was balance that needed to come into play.
Yeah.
And even with me, I worked, but I also understood I got to balance my children, and I got to balance time with my husband, because you can have it all, but you got to balance it all, y'all. You got to be able to say, yes, I have a job. That's how I pay for things. But my family is really important. My family is the core unit for me. Because when your family is falling apart, y'all ain't being successful on these jobs. I've seen people that you can't go to work when a lot of folk, when they're going through a divorce, you're going to see them act up at the job.
Yep.
They can't function. When the children are going through things in jail and on drugs and the addict because you did not raise them and connect with them, now you're trying to go to your job. You can't concentrate.
Right.
Now you're losing the job because you're not functioning anymore because you didn't take care of your family and your marriage. Y'all, there's an order to this thing. The jobs can be replaced. The family cannot.
Yeah.
The marriage cannot.
Yep.
And that's the stuff that God prioritized. But it wasn't us being codependent. It was us seeing each other's strengths and leaning on those strengths. I love your work ethic. Like I said, I change a job in a minute. Like, don't sneeze at me wrong. I can get a job tomorrow. Still can. I mean, I work for myself. But the point is, I could do that. But I love the fact that you were faithful in your employment. I admired that. I said, look, they really lucky to have you. And as I got older and more mature, I said, yeah, okay, you need to build something. You need to be a little bit more stable in the things that you're doing. So I learned from you, you learned from me, but we had to get humble enough to say, God is speaking to me through my spouse. Yeah. When you would tell me to handle my emotions better, we talked about it a little bit last week, how women are a little bit emotional. We use a lot of words. And I started looking at you like, he don't really get all bent out. He don't really hold grudges. I'm like, my husband can really forget some stuff. Like the argument is over for you the next day. And I learned to say, take that in, because that's how God would want you to behave anyway, Tara. And so when people, Jason, are so arrogant, I don't get that, because you didn't marry a dummy. You married somebody you thought, I pray, had some benefits and skill sets and good characteristics. Why would you not take advantage of that? Like, are they not marrying them for the good that they see and think that they could use that and learn from that and connect from that? I mean, y'all tell me.
Yeah, because I think there's so many. I think there's so many different scenarios and different situations. Because a lot of people may not see the true you until 5 years in. And shame on that person for not being authentic from the get-go. Some people, like you said, when we talk about parenting, you're my spouse, but you are treating me like I'm your child. So you're parenting me, and I know that causes a lot of contention within it. But I've heard several times, and I mean, it was a movie. I can do all bad. I can do bad by myself or whatever.
Right.
It takes an emotional breakdown of what you have been taught and trained to do from birth. Because think about it. You have 18 plus years of training.
Right.
You've dated a person for a couple of years and then married this person.
Right.
And now you're in a marriage 3-4 years in.
But they're not taking into
That's
account none of that training.
training,
Like there's
right,
so many
right.
people I have to walk through their parents and patterns of their family before they even realize, OMG, I'm actually operating like those people. Well, of course, you were raised by those
You were
people.
raised by those
You
people.
set up
Yeah.
under those people. You saw how they operated. I meet so many people that don't have grace even for other people, what the other people come into marriage not knowing. They don't even have grace for it. They don't even understand. I said, did you ever look at the parents of your spouse? You do understand they weren't trained for that. Now you were trained for that. You're supposed to give that to them. Why are you acting and behaving that way like something's wrong with them and now they're flawed and they're not on your level? Because there's some people that I have heard them say, I married beneath me.
Oh,
Jay.
that is horrible. I don't think I heard that one before.
Oh, I had. I do a lot of
I've
marriage
married beneath
counseling.
me. Why get married? Why
Oh,
are you?
because first of all,
that's settling.
let's be 100. They married him for shallow reasons.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
fine. The sex was
yeah.
good. Y'all tell on yourself. Why did you marry him since you're married beneath you? You married somebody for selfish, shallow reasons. And then later on, when you saw the things that they didn't know, because you thought they're supposed to know everything, even though you don't know everything, but it's very hard for people to admit that, they'll say, I just did not marry on my level. Now, you don't want to know who say it the most. You want to guess who say that statement the most? That they married beneath themselves?
Who?
Go on, guess, baby. Men or women? Who you think said that?
Women?
Yes,
Women?
child.
Women? Yeah.
Women be grading themselves on the 10. Let me say, my sisters, we all think we 10s,
but
8,
you know what?
9,
I can see that, especially from a perspective of when we talk about independence.
Mm-hmm. Oh, especially in our community.
Because if and I'm just break down the dynamics. If I am raised by in a single parent household, mainly my mother, I am looking for that nurturer. And so if my girlfriend, soon to be wife, fiance, or whatever, is nurturing me, I am now putting you in that space of, I need you. I need this nurturing. I used to get it from my mama. But on the flip side, if your mother is raising a daughter in that single parent household, it's, I'm raising you to take care of yourself, and you don't need anybody to take care of you.
Oh, they raising a lot of unnurturing women out here. So if I meet another woman that say, I just don't have a nurturing spirit about me, sis, stay single. What do you mean? What are you doing? They are raised in a single parent household. They didn't see a woman loving on a man, hugging on a man, kissing on a man, affirming a man, wanting to even be with a man. And so they just like, I don't know. Like, I know he won't all that. I just don't do that. Girl, you better check your training. Check your training in your background. You have been raised to be single. If you as a woman have not been raised to nurture a man, love on a man, connect with a man, collaborate with a man, sweetheart, you've been raised to be single. I'm sorry to tell you. Because that is what he's looking for. That's why he's trying to get married to a woman. He wants the nurturing of a woman, the love of a woman. And then you come in here saying, I don't really do all that. I don't.
It's just hard.
It's hard. It's just not in my nature. And I don't know about all that. What you say, Hannah? They want to be taken care of, but don't want to care for someone else. Oh, preach in the comment section. Jay, it's so weird to me because I'm like, you do know to get these men to help you and help pay these bills, you need to hug on them. Like, that's as ancient and caveman days. Like, if I was a dude and I'm paying your bills, you better be hugging on me and kissing me. What you talking about? Why am I with you and you not touching on me and you want my money? Ladies, y'all finessing out here. Like,
but see, that goes,
what is this?
But that goes back to what you just said. So if you're doing all of that in the beginning to get me and to get access to me and to
your money,
to my money, and now you're sitting up here saying, I'm married beneath me. I married
because you ain't got no champagne and no bubbly and no R&B music. Y'all better stop tripping, because if he's still paying the bills 30 years later, because I've heard women say, oh, he still pay the bill. Now, that I can say is he's a good provider, but I don't want to have no sex. Girl, no, I'm going to have to say it because y'all tripping. And I'm tired of hearing it, because how are you over here saying I still need him to pay these bills, but I'm not going to do what people expect, what men expect women to do.
Right.
I definitely expect him to pay these bills. And then there's women that'll say, well, I pay bills too, and I can take care of my own bills. Okay, ma'am, so what is his need for you? Like,
right.
I think we get rid of the man's need for us when we are not loving, when we're not nurturing. And I don't want to go back on last week's conversation, but what is happening, y'all? I don't really understand this hyper independence when you want to be married. You can't be both. Listen, men and women, you cannot be both. You can't say, I want the marriage that I'm seeing. I love when I see good love in marriage people, couple goals. You know, they like to say that couple goals. I like black love. I like seeing y'all. Do you understand to have these here couple goals and this black love? We have had to do a lot of collaboration, partnership, compromising. I can't get my way. I don't get to get my way all the time. Not at all. He don't get to get his way all the time. It's, hey, what's best for us? If you want this thing to still be working well and us to still be loving each other and us to still be getting along, you can't have your way. And I can't have my way. When I go into a conversation with my husband, it is definitely a sell. It's, okay, babe, this is what I'm thinking. Babe, I got an idea. I'm the idea quitting. He be like, because he know if I'm thinking about it, I'm probably about to do it. But I have learned to say, so, babe, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I believe, God is kind of telling us what you think about it. Sometimes he'll be like, well, that sounds good. Let's look at the details of it. And sometimes he'll say, I don't think so, babe. Like, I can see, I can't get mad about that. In my immaturity, I used to be saying, you a dream crusher. I'm giving you a vision and you a dream crusher. And I'm trying to tell you we could be here, but you just slowing me down. And then after the fact, I'll be like, nah, you was right. That really wasn't going to work. But thank you. Thank you after the fact, because my husband, because we work in such good tandem, he's the detail person. I'm the one that really do be coming up with a lot of the ideas, but I need him because he'll say, okay, babe, but is it the time for it? Let's look through it. Let's work through it. And by the time we work through it, I'm like, you know what? It's not the time for that. It's actually not the time. Thank you for actually helping me. And I no longer look at him as a dream killer. I look him as my collaborator, my advisor, who really holds me who really helps me to make the best plans for my vision. He says, baby, that sounds like a thing we can do in about 3 years. After we do this, get this, that. He's not killing my dreams. And so we have to look at it like that. I see Hannah said it's the status of marriage and the trendy hashtags that they want. Girl, yes, they do. They want the marriage hashtag, but not the work of the marriage. And they want to blame it on marriage, Jay. I tried. I had somebody put a comment on something. I tried marriage. It was trash. It was hard. I just stayed single. No, you're trash. Okay, go ahead, Jay. You can talk.
And they should stay single. They should stay single. Absolutely.
Marriage is not trash.
Marriage is not
trash. The way you was doing marriage and the way you came into marriage with your mindset was trash.
Yep.
Like, statistically speaking, boyfriend-girlfriend relationships have an 80% failure rate long term. 80%. So when y'all come with the whole marriage thing is a 50% failure rate, we have a higher success rate than y'all long-term boo thing things. If you want a long-term relationship, your best chance is in a marriage. Don't get it twisted. But mature people got to come into marriage that want to collaborate, connect, and compromise.
Yeah. And it can't be about self.
No.
It cannot be about, I'm all for you being, and when we talk about independence,
right,
I'm all for you thinking for yourself.
Yes.
Let's not mistaken that because you think for yourself or you can't be independent. No, I want you to think for yourself. I want you to make solid and sound decisions. However, you cannot take things into account that only affects you.
No,
you have to look at how it affects the family, how it affects your spouse. So definitely please think for yourself. I will say, and I'm proud, I'm going to pat myself on the back with this comment real quick.
Okay.
We had a conversation last week or week before last. I think it was last week. And I literally was trying to think in my mind, because here we go back to this car thing. And I will admit, I know, I will admit, I like cars. I get bored with cars. I do.
Yes, you do.
I get bored with them. I'm like, all right, let's do something else. And so I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing X, Y, and Z. And I said, I'm not going to stress out trying to think about this and sell you. What do you think about it?
I really no, you don't
And-
really realize that decision you made me really feel like, because he was talking about another car, y'all. We don't need no car. The man was talking. Oh, Jesus. And I didn't say nothing because I'm grown. I'm mature in Christ. I don't even do that no more. I don't go against my husband's the suggestions no more. I just be like, okay, well, let me know what you think. Let me know. Let me know. I don't go against it. I just be like, God, talk to your boy, because I'm not even going there no more. I don't stress out no more. And he came back on his own and said, you know what? Instead, I'm gonna just pay off such and such and just use that money to pay this other thing, we trying to purchase. I said, that sounds like much better, because we have teenagers that need cars real soon. And so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep my car. It's better than and I just said, good job, babe. So glad you came to that conclusion on your own. I don't shut him down no more. I'm too grown for that. Thank you, Pro Maze. We appreciate that. Hey, Georgette, you came on in. We love you. We love you. I have learned as a wife, I'm definitely not parenting no grown person.
Right.
But I learned to say, well, babe, I hear what you're saying. Let's talk about that. Why are you wanting to do that? Can you kind of explain to me what your goal is with that? Why are we making this particular decision? I don't shut him down, which means that now, let me explain something to y'all. Now he's coming to me because I'm not shutting him down, trying to act parental.
Right.
Some of y'all, a spouse come tell you something, you like, that's stupid, that's crazy. See, that's what I'm talking about. You always doing something. See, if that's your response, they're not coming back. They're just going to do stuff that they want to and stop talking to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to create an environment where say, babe, just, I would just run some stuff by me. I would like to just give you my perspective. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but we really do need to talk some stuff out, because we're partners in here.
Yeah.
And I would never make decisions without you, because I trust your wisdom. See, we got to start talking the talk.
Yeah.
I respect your wisdom. I want to connect with you on things. I want us to win.
Mm-hmm.
When I was talking to my husband about quitting that job that had him working 60 hours, I said, I did not get married to not see you. I'm like,
Right.
I'm not one of them chicks. Like, I know that deeply. Like I said, I'm a twin. I'm used to having the person that I love very close to me. And I said, I could never have married somebody in the military. I could marry somebody that travel a lot. Not me, because I'm really used to being with somebody. And when I envision marriage, I envision a spouse that would be at home with me at night, that would be out on the weekends with me. So can you find another job? And he did. I said, I love you, which is why I'm talking about this job thing. I don't care about the money. Money is great, but I want a husband. I'm not that chick. Some people want to marry their husband's money. I said, I don't want to marry your money. I said, I actually like you as a person. I miss you. I want to see you at night. I want our family together. I want our daughters to see you. I didn't come at him mad. I was like, I'm trying to tell you how much I love you. And that's what I'm missing, is our time together. And I don't think God would want us separated like this. Because I said, the way that this is going, I don't want to get used to you not being here. Because if I start getting used to you not being here, then that's how divorces happen.
Right.
And so he heard my heart. And you only had that job for a year before you start looking for another job. And then within a year, you had a whole nother job.
Yeah.
And God blessed us completely. But I was mad the first year. I wasn't acting right about the job the first year. But the second year, God said, come to him.
I was mad the first year. You ain't got to be mad. We both were mad.
But I mean, the way I was coming at
Yeah.
you, really blaming you for the decision you made, is like, we can't chase money.
Right.
And we have kept that as a concept throughout our marriage. No matter who offers either one of us anything, we say, not right now. We are quick to say, oh, not at this time, because of our children. We're like, our children are at a stage where they need us. They need to see us. We need to be parents first. But holler back at us in about 6 years when everybody is rolled out and moving on. Holler back. And we okay with waiting.
Yeah.
We don't think, oh, this is the last money we're going to be offered, the last position we're going to be offered, the last promotion we're going to be offered. We don't care. We're like, well, it's not for us, because God would not have our family separating for $1. We don't chase money like that.
Yeah. So as we're winding this down, what advice would you give the audience when it comes to talking to or getting that that super independent person to start breaking down those walls?
First of all, is awareness. I need y'all to really look back at your parental upbringing.
Yeah.
And say, was I trained to collaborate in a marriage with a person or not? Because some of that training you're going to have to reject. You're going to say, I really was not trained to connect with a spouse. Because the first thing is, when you recognize a deficit within yourself, then you're more open for advisement. You're open to correction. So even when your spouse corrects you on something, you say, you know what, I'm probably erring, because in my family, this is how we operated. We did what we wanted to do when we wanted to do it. I didn't ask anybody for any collaboration. You're right. I didn't see my dad asking for things when he would make decisions. I didn't see my mama asking. So you're probably right. I'm just out here. So when you get called out on it by your spouse, recognize that. If you single, recognize it now and say, I need to start collaborating with people in my community on things. I need to start working on teams. I need to start working in friendships. I need to start talking to other adults and getting their advisement so that I can practice doing that when I get married. Is I'm not out here by myself. I know God was talking about marriage when at first when he was saying man should be alone. We look at that as marriage, but period, you shouldn't be alone. None of us should be making decisions out here, even single people, without the advisement and connection and accountability of other people in our life that love us. This is not just about married people. If you are single, who is giving you advisement on your personal life, on your career, on your health? Who is able to look at you and say, hey, can I talk to you? I see you kind of arrowing and going off the path. If you don't have people like that in your life, you are doomed. So first of all, get the community. Get the community because it is good. God said so. If you really want to do the things God has for your life, you got to have community. The first thing Jesus did was get community. This is the Son of God. The Son of God. If anybody could have lived life alone, it would have been the Son of God. But Jesus got community. And then he consistently told them, I'm telling y'all stuff that the Father is telling me. He was even telling them, I got mentorship straight from my Father. He didn't even give himself credit. He would say, I'm hearing things from God on what to do. That's where I'm getting my alignment. So I really want y'all to understand that hyper independency is counterproductive and it's counter God. It's against Christ and the way that he did things. It is against the way that God wants us to do things. Now, see, we have a couple of comments and questions I want to read real quick. Georgette said that happened in my first marriage. My husband worked third shift, and I worked first. It was a lot of stress. We were married and on paper, but I was by myself with the children. Yes, Georgette, it happens. Richard said, Tara, I'm fresh on the dating scene now. Can you elaborate on what or when it comes to having patience on dealing with someone that kind of have walls up? Richard, the walls are up for a reason. First of all, ask them. Say, I want to know. I'm sure you got a real reason why your walls are up. Can you kind of help me so that I can have compassion and grace for your walls being up? Because when people have walls up, sometimes we take it personal. When it's not personal, there's some things, some real valid reasons of why they have them up, because somebody has hurt them, harmed them, or abused them. People do not put walls up unless things have happened to them. So you must find out about the walls to have compassion for it. Then you can kind of fill the void. Say, I understand people have left you and kept you out there. I'm going to try my best to help resolve that and show you everybody's not like that.
Right.
So now you are very much aware of why the walls are up. Y'all don't get mad at the walls. Ask the person why they're up. You ain't the first person they met in their life. They done met a couple of people that made them say, let me build a whole brick because I'm sick of these folks. There is a reason people act the way that they do, y'all. Please ask more questions. And then have grace and mercy. Because when you ask the question and they tell you the story, you'll say, oh, I know why you got it. I get it. I would have walls up too. Affirm them. Say, I would have those walls up too, but I want those walls to come down. So I'm going to work to get them walls down for you. I'm going to really prove to you everybody's not the same. Yeah. I see Dr. Antonio said, you two are the best. Thank God for this ministry. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
And Patricia said that Patricia's lucky, y'all. She said, I'm living single with community is everything. Yes, Patricia. Y'all, it is everything.
Yep.
The friendships, the marriages, y'all, marriages to me, the most dynamic accountability you can ever have. There's no way I can fall having this man watching me every day. He will not let me fall. He won't. He'll be like, hey, you ate today?
Versa. Yep.
Like on anything. Girl, you ate today? No. Why haven't you eaten today? You know your blood sugar go low and you know you be acting out anyway. So stop, go get you something to eat. And I go get something to eat. I watch him too. Oh, it's like, hey, you good, Pooh? Like we just be looking at everything. Like, what's that? What's that on your face? You good? You like, because we look at everything.
Right.
We watch every move and we want each other to win. When you have a partnership, I can't win without him winning. I shouldn't be joyful walking around every day and he's sad. Y'all, when you in a partnership, if I'm happy, my spouse got to be happy. If I'm the only one happy, something wrong. Hey, come on to this happiness with me. What we got to do to make sure you happy too? I'm not winning if he not winning. If you are operating where you saying, as long as I'm good, I'm good. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm good. Stay single. Stop breaking hearts out here, y'all. Some of y'all ain't ready. Oh, thank you, Antonio. I did. Yes, I got some clients. My clients be coming here for this free therapy. But Jay, thank you for tonight's show, y'all. We're definitely, I hope you gained something out of this conversation. If you did, please let us know. Say, I gained some. I'm blessed. Say something. Say thank y'all. But I see y'all. I pray y'all understand that what we're trying to do is help some of you be aware. Yeah. Awareness is the first step. Then you do the methods or whatever you got to do to fix the areas in your life that God want to fix. And then I promise you're going to have a happier and healthy just life in general. Mm-hmm. So just to remind y'all, grab the book. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but I wish I would have known. A lot of what we talked about is definitely in that book. It's definitely in the book, y'all. Y'all can get that.
And it's wedding season. So seriously,
it's starting the wedding season.
I was talking to a pastor friend of mine. And he was like, yep, I got weddings lined up from now to June, July. So grab the book, give it as a wedding gift. I promise you it'll be better than giving some dishes or towels or whatever.
They still get China sets.
Yeah, whatever you give. So definitely order the book and give it as a gift because it's very fruitful and it'll help couples out tremendously.
And I want to not remind y'all, but announce y'all next week we will be off. Next week. I know y'all sad. You're so depressed. I know. We're gonna miss you too. We're off. We're on vacation next week with our daughters. And so we will not be here next week. So put it on your calendar. Don't be like, where they at though? Just say, I remember they said it. We're not going to be here next week. We'll put a reminder out as well. We won't be here next week, taking 1 week off, and then we'll be back. But we have really enjoyed the momentum. Yep. But we just need to go spend time, balance with our children for their break. So anything else, Jay? Anything you got to say since you are an ex hyper independent individual?
Hyper independent.
You are ex hyper independent. You are so balanced now. So
alrighty then. Yeah, I guess I'm balanced.
You are. You really are.
No, it's good. Good conversation. Good conversation.
Any last?
Just be open. Be open to change. Be open to, because when you are that independent person, breaking down your own walls, I think, is the toughest part. And so for me, being is the headstrong person that I am,
you were,
or that I was, definitely breaking down my own isms and being able to come into a partnership. And you're my helpmate, and I had to truly understand what that meant in marriage. So, folks will fear the unknown. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not sure of what's going to happen if I stop doing what I've been used to doing all my life, give it a try. Yeah. Give it a try. That ain't gonna hurt you. I promise you. So that's, if I gave any advice or any piece of advice, definitely look in the mirror, find something to change about yourself and make that change. When it comes to relationships, it's okay to have somebody else give you advice. Mm-hmm. It's okay to seek counsel. Yes. That was one of the biggest things. And I know we got to run, but that was one of the biggest things for me that used to ask me, who is your circle? Who is your village? Who are your friends? Mm-hmm. And I used to say, just me and Jesus. That's it. Amen. That's all I need. Just me and Jesus. Amen. Me and Jesus.
Then I had to say, when last time you talked to him? Y'all had a meeting
Jesus
lately?
Told me this morning.
I didn't see you talk to him.
I had to I had to truly get out of that hyper independent state and truly start listening to others.
We got one more question. I ain't gonna leave you out there, Betty. Betty came in the 9th hour with this long question, but we gonna be nice. Betty said, how do you advise someone that grew up in a household where both parents were around, mother was the breadwinner and dad was unemployed and aggressive? Now the girls only attract a man like him. Y'all hear me today. When the Bible say, parents, train up your children in the way they should go, and when they're old, they will not depart from it. He wasn't just talking about the good stuff. Whatever you were trained in, yes, you're going to follow that pattern. And this is what God says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, will be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Betty, this is what we're talking about when we said find other community and other advisors and other mentors. Because if you don't get around other people and be exposed to other people, all you know is what you know from your parents.
Yep.
So you're going to choose the same pattern.
Yep.
If you don't get any more education, any more advice and counsel, that's why they picking it, because these men ain't even no red flag because they're used to seeing it in their daddy. In fact, there's something comfortable about these bums. I didn't call them men bums, but anyway, I ain't call your daddy a bum, girl. I didn't do it. What I'm saying is they're comfortable with the bum behavior because they seen it.
Yeah.
And they actually know how to get along with bum behavior because mama taught them. Some of you women need to leave these men so that your daughter don't know how to get along with a bum. Because they'll be like, I ain't never seen nobody collaborate with a bum. I only seen my mother collaborate with people that know what they're doing. Sir, I don't have a blueprint for collaborating with your bumness. Some of y'all got to understand, women, drop these suckers off, because your daughter gonna think if you can do it, she can do it. If mama can persevere and suffer for 30 years through trash, I guess I got it in me. I don't want to have my daughters. I don't want them to have that in them. No, we don't have that in them. We can't persevere. I want my daughters to be like, I ain't never seen this. I don't have a blueprint. I don't know how to get along with a man that act like this. My daddy had a job. My daddy was doing right. Ladies, get away from these men so that your daughters will really see it as a red flag, because they ain't never seen nothing like that. Ladies, reject the training, because you got to look at your mama. I'm going to tell you how you get rid of that mindset. Look at your mama and say, do I want my mother's end? If you don't want your mother's end, you can't do what your mother did, because you are definitely headed down the path to have what your mother had. You got to say, God, renew my mind. Renew my mind. You got something, Jay? What you about to say?
Nope. No, you said it.
Y'all be doing this. I was off. When y'all go overtime, this called overtime. When y'all go overtime, then y'all get whatever I'm going to say out my mouth. But Betty, I get it. You don't know how, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have been trained by your parents on who to pick, because whatever they dealt with and whatever they thought was okay is why you think it's okay, and it's not a red flag. I'm so sorry to tell you. This is why you got to get other mentors. You got to get other advisors. Y'all keep listening to your family members. You only going to get what your family have, because you ain't been out here exposed to other things that are higher and better for you. Stick around that same little community you with. You're going to get what that community has. You got to branch out, get out. That's why God told Abraham, leave your family and do not return. He told him to get out and come out from among them, because he was trying to teach him a new thing. You keep sticking around the same, you're going to do the same. You want better, go see better, gain better, get a better advisement. I'm telling you, you can break those cycles. They are not curses, y'all. I know y'all say it's a curse, but a curse can't be broken like that.
But I'll say
it's generational training is what it is.
It is. And I'll say one thing that my grandmother did. She had 13 kids. And I thought it was so cruel. But now as a parent, I understand why she did what she did. With 13 kids, the day after you graduated from high school, you was out of her house. You had to go. And so either you were going to the military, you were going off to college, but she literally put her kids out.
Oh, that is
because
true.
it's you got 13 kids.
Well, that was more of a financial decision. That was more of a resource issue. That's supply and demand.
But what it did, it forces, and I got a whole feeling on it. We are too soft on kids in this generation right now. But it forced them to get out and learn something.
Yeah. But you have that it's not being unfortunately, a lot of men unfortunately being coddled, but we ain't gonna talk about that now, because I promise you we're gonna be on here an hour. They raise their daughters to be hyper independent and their sons to be coddled, and that's why the marriages are imploding. Right there. Single ladies, please stop coddling your sons and then making your daughter super independent. They don't get along later on. She don't like your son. Stop. No, gosh, we're going to be on her all night if I keep going. Y'all, we're going to stop right here. Amen. Amen. Jay, you
We'll
just
pick it up.
opening up a
We'll
whole
pick it up
can
in
of
we'll
worms.
pick it up
It's
in 2
Betty
weeks.
fault. Betty, don't come
We'll
over
pick it up
here
in 2
at
weeks.
7:59 dropping something like that, and you know you gonna trigger us and hype us up. Don't do that, Betty. Get on here at 7.
It's all good.
Hey, what's that? Hannah said, talk about it in 2 weeks. I
Talk
guess
about it
we
in 2
will.
weeks.
Better than started something. Better than did something. We're gonna have to talk about it. Because that match ain't matching, y'all.
Yeah. Yep.
You out here telling your daughters to be a go-getter, and your sons, you like, I go get it for you. And y'all wonder what's wrong with the marriages. So anyway, if you'd like to email us, go to info@taraboddie.com. Go to the website, taraboddie.com, for counseling sessions. We have enjoyed y'all so much tonight. We have enjoyed you, period. Thank you, Jason, again. Y'all,
absolutely.
He ain't ran away yet, so I thank y'all for keeping him motivated, because, you know, he has signed.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm putting in my 2-week notice. 2 weeks.
Tell him now, y'all. Tell him now. He got to get on here, because he keep me flowing. He bring out a whole nother side of me when he's on here. I'm telling you, he does. But we thank you all tonight. And this has been Tara
and Jason
for God in Therapy. Take care.
Good night.